Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Machem Laira Online Smicha. The most important thing is to always be prepared and always review the halachas that are timely for the season that it is. And that's why Shleishim Yom Lifnei Chag, we always learn the halachas of the Yom Tov before Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot, Chanukah, Purim, especially when it's halachas that are not that well known. You definitely have to be prepared. And today, being that it's in the secular calendar, it's December 4th, December 5th, there is a halacha that we should review that's relevant to today's date, as long as we are in Chutz La'aretz. And the Chidah, some of the Achrayim actually say that by doing so, by reviewing the halachas about that day, it saves you from any stumbling block. And that all the questions, what happens if you forget to do the right thing, you could save yourself by studying the halachas. When a person studies halacha, he creates a malach, and the malach protects him from not stumbling. So that's the best way to do it. Today, in the secular calendar, tonight, December 4th, going over to December 5th, it says in Shulchan Aruch that 60 days into the new Tkufa is when you start saying V'sein Talum Matav V'bracha in Chutz La'aretz. Now we know that in Eretz Yisrael, they started already saying this in Zayin Cheshvan, and over there the rain is needed earlier, so they say it from Zayin Cheshvan. Really, it should have been started at the last day of Sukkot, the end of Sukkot, but we gave some time for everybody to get home from being Oila Regel, and in Chutz La'aretz, where the rain is not needed so much, so early, we start 60 days into the Tkufa, and that is either the 4th of December, the 5th of December, depends on the yearly calendar. Now, it's interesting to say everywhere Chutz La'aretz, because that's a question that has to be discussed by itself, because Chutz La'aretz itself has America right now, it's winter. You go to Australia or South Africa, it's summer. So that it's a question by itself. Should each place say the bracha based on what it's the nusach bracha, based how it's most fitting to its situation, and that was the shita of the Rush, or and Reb Chaim Brisker they say was also chayish to this shita. Every place should do what's best for it, or in Eretz Yisrael is Eretz Yisrael. And Chutz La'aretz is Chutz La'aretz, and if you don't fit into this different, you go follow Eretz Yisrael. All right. What happens? Let's go through. Let's review. What happens if you, especially right in the beginning, your nature, your habit tells you to read the Shemoneh Esrei as you're saying it lately. What happens if you don't remember if you said the right thing or not? Okay. Incidentally, it's actually makubal that the first time you start, you make an announcement, saying Talum Matav V'bracha, or you clap on the table. Some don't want to make the hefsek; they just clap on the table. That reminds everybody that we're switching over to saying Talum Matav V'bracha. If a person doesn't remember, so the best way to make sure that doesn't happen, I said, is learning the halachas. Others say actually to make sure to daven in a siddur. When you daven in a siddur, you'll follow what it says, and you'll know, it's time to switch over. It's interesting to note that just like there's an expression, when there are big letters, you express yourself, these letters are Kiddush Levana Asius. There's also an expression of saying Bracha Asius, because those are usually written very small in the middle of the Bracha of Baruch Aleinu. So learning the halachas and davening from a siddur, make sure that helps you not to forget. So much so that it says if a person is not sure and he forgot, he's allowed to do something which typically you're not allowed to do middle Shemoneh Esrei. Just to remember that you don't miss the next possible time to say it in the Shemoneh Esrei. You could stop where you are and put your finger to a page 2 later, Shema Aleinu, where over there you're allowed to enter it. So you put your finger on the Shema Aleinu, that when you get there, you should remember. Usually you shouldn't do anything, motion or make notes, but this is an exception. So what happens if somebody doesn't remember? So the halacha is, we assume if it's within the first 30 days, we assume that he just followed his habit, and the habit was till now not to say it. We assume he didn't say it. What's the cheshbon of 90 days? 90 days. What's the cheshbon? The first 30 days. What's the cheshbon of the first 30 days? Because 30 days has 90 times. Because there are three Shemoneh Esrei a day. 3 Shemoneh Esrei a day. Each one you would have already accustomed yourself to say the right thing. By the end of 30 days, you said it 90 times. So what if a person is a chazan? He's Nebuch Ha'avol, he's a chazan, so he's davening for the Amid. So he manages to say Shemoneh Esrei twice. He doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to assume it over 90 days, over 30 days, because he gets Shemoneh Esrei done 90 times over 18 days. What's the calculation of 18? Because he repeats Shemoneh Esrei, he says it 3 times himself, and then he says it twice more for Shachris and Mincha out loud. He doesn't have the Musaf. He doesn't have the Ma'ariv. So by him, in 18 days, he covers the V'sein Talam Matal of Bracha 90 times, and from now on, we could assume did the right thing. So if a person is not sure, I said within the first 30 days, the assumption is he's doing the old habit. After the 90 days, I'm sorry, if he realizes he didn't say it within the 30 days, he realizes he didn't say it, what are my options? So there are steps like this. If you are in the middle of the bracha, this is said in Baruch Aleinu. If you're still at that bracha you didn't finish, you just say it then. If you said already the end of the bracha, you said Mevarech Hashanim, you could say, before you started the bracha Tikah, then you go on to say it right then. Baruch Hashem Mevarech Hashanim, you're saying Talamat V'bracha. If you started the next bracha, now you have to wait to Shema Keleinu. Shema Keleinu is a bracha that really you could enter any personal request in there. So if you got the rain bracha earlier, you could enter it there. If you finished Shema Keleinu and you realize, if you made the chsim already, you realize that you didn't say anything about the rain, you go back to Baruch Aleinu. If you finished the whole Shemoneh Esrei and you didn't say it, now you have to restart the whole Shemoneh Esrei from the beginning. Okay, those are the basics. Let me talk to you about a minute about some of the complicated things, and that is, because in Eretz Yisrael you started at one time, you started a couple of weeks earlier than Chutz La'aretz. What happens if there's somebody traveling from Israel to Chutz La'aretz, from Chutz La'aretz to Israel? So this is the breakdown. An Israeli that left Israel before Zayin Cheshvan, so he was not asking yet for rain, and now he's in America, Zayin Cheshvan. So some opinions hold that if he either left his family in Israel or his intention is all along to come back during the rainy season back to Israel, he should start saying the saying Talamat V'bracha. Even in America, he should start at Zayin Cheshvan. And if he doesn't have any family behind, or he didn't have intention to go back right now, he should just wait in America until America starts saying it. Others say, no, you always follow the place where you are. If you're in America and they're still not saying it, you'll wait till December 4th, December 5th, and say it then. That's if he left Israel before Zayin Cheshvan. If he left Israel after Zayin Cheshvan, so he already started saying V'sein Talamat V'bracha in Israel. So because he started saying it already, then he shouldn't stop it. Because if you started asking for this bracha, continue saying it. That's what the Radvaz holds. Others say that even though he said it already, when he's in America, he shouldn't say it. The Pri Megadim says it. Again, it's basically, do you follow where you are? You go where what they're saying, or should you follow your personal needs? That's when an Israeli comes to America. How about an American that flew to Israel? He flew to Israel and he arrives there before Zayin Cheshvan, and Zayin Cheshvan arrives in Israel. even if he's planning to go back to America before December 4th, Zayin Cheshvan in Israel, he should say V'sein Talamat Bracha. And when he comes back to Chutz La'aretz, he should Yafsik Milisho Bebarach Aleinu, for that period of time until America starts. He should not say it in Baruch Aleinu. He should say it in Shema Aleinu. Why? Why is in Shema Aleinu? Even though the Chidah writes that once a person starts saying the bracha at Eretz Yisrael, he should continue saying the bracha, because you can't contradict yourself. Is it a bracha or not a bracha? But nevertheless, the best option, some poskim of today say, you want to say it, but don't say it in its normal place, because after all, you're in Chutz La'aretz, and over there, they're not asking for rain yet.